Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and the first new episode of Placement Series. In this, I'm going to discuss how to solve aptitude questions, where to find this aptitude question, and also all the available links of the study materials of these aptitude questions. Come on guys, let's start this video and do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Hi Sarveshwar, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hey Malton.
So Sarveshwar, let's now talk about the aptitude section and how to solve the aptitude questions regarding to the placements and all the topics related to it.
Yeah, sure.
So Sarveshwar, my first question is, what is aptitude round and are there any previous round before aptitude?
So, basically, aptitude round is one of the first rounds that are present in the any hiring process of a company, and this is basically to test your problem solving skill and to test your logical capabilities. This is because the company just wants to know how do you react to different situations in the company. Okay, and most of the companies consider it to be a screening round because let's say some 600 people apply for the same role, but the interviewers can't take interviews for all the 600, right? So this helps in filtering out the candidates from the test round to the interview process.
Okay. How many rounds of aptitude a company will usually have?
So most of the companies they limit themselves to one round of aptitude test. So that will be the first test which you will be appearing for, and it consists of different sections which we will cover in the we will cover as we go through. And also aptitude need not be just a test. So some companies, like let's say my company Informatica, when they came for hiring, so we did not have any aptitude test as such, but during our interviews, during one of the interviews, that's the managerial round, so we were asked some of the aptitude based questions. So it depends basically depends on the company, like how they want to test your aptitude and in which phase they want to test. Most of the companies will be having only one round of aptitude test.
Okay. How many sections a particular aptitude exam contain?
So, aptitude, it basically consists of four sections. Okay. So, first one being the quantitative aptitude. So, quantitative aptitude means it consists of questions related to your mathematical concepts, where you use your formulae and solve the questions. So, for example, like some of the famous topics among them are like age-related problems, speed, time, and distance, like train-related problems, boats upstream and downstream, these things. So, that's first one. The second one being the reasoning one. Reasoning being like abstract and logical reasoning. So abstract reasoning in the sense they will give you questions in form of pictures. Like let's say they will give you a set of pictures and they'll identify. They'll ask you to identify the next one, which comes in the sequence, or they will give you a shape, particular shape, and they will ask you to fold it in particular directions and predict the final shape. So this is abstract reasoning. When it comes to logical reasoning, we have questions like relationship related problems, finding the next terms in the sequence. So these things come under logical reasoning. So these two together form the reasoning part of it. Now the third one is the verbal ability. So as the name suggests, it is basically to test the verbal capabilities of the candidate. Like basically it will test you your grip on the language. So it will test your vocabulary, grammar, like the sentence formation, etc. So the famous ones among them are like synonyms and antonyms, sentence formation, or like sentence correction. So these are the verbal ability. And the last one, which is least asked but still an important one, is the data interpretation. So this is basically like they will give us some sort of charts, graphs, or pie charts. So they will be giving data in that format. We need to analyze the data and answer the questions that they ask. So for example, we can say they might give you a bar graph consisting of a company sales. So based on that trends, you need to analyze them and you need to answer like how much might be the sale next year, or how much might be the sale like 5 years down the line. So these are the four major areas that will be covered in aptitude. So out of that, the famous ones are the quantitative aptitude, reasoning, and verbal ability.
Okay. Can you just give some examples for each of the sections which you just explained right now?
Yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and show you that. So, like, I've just told, I just gave you a gist on what are the different topics, right? So let's see like what are the different questions that will be asked in those particular topics. So, starting with the quantitative aptitude. So here I'm just showing three types of questions. So that is problems on ages, profit and loss, boats and streams. Okay. So when you like try to solve the age-related problem, these are the types of questions. Okay. So A is 2 years older than B, who is twice as old as C. So if the sum of them, sum of their ages is 27, then how old is B? So these type of like questions will be asked. This is one type, and one more type is that they'll give you ages in terms of ratios, and they'll ask you to find the based on some certain conditions. They'll ask you to find the age. So these are the what you say problems that will be on ages. Okay. Now coming to profit and loss. So we all know like this is a topic which we all know, like we have solved it in our lower classes. So this concept is more basically on like the formulae. So all the profit and loss related formulae. So once you like remember the formulae, like you need to solve as many questions as possible to master these type of questions. So like for example, see, the cost price of 20 articles is same as the selling price of X articles. So if the profit is 25%, then determine the number of articles. So like this, there'll be a question, or it will be like they'll give you data in terms of rupees. So for example, Alfred buys an old scooter for 4,700 rupees and spent 800 on its repair. If he sells scooter for 5,800, what is his gain percent? So for these, you need to first, like what do you say, remember all the formulae. So at the end, when I show you the resources, right? So I'll just show you where you can see the formulae and from where you can start practicing the questions. So the last one that I'll be showing now is the boats and streams. So this also like most of us might be familiar with. So we might have like learned this in our +1 +2 physics, the upstream and downstream. So like they'll be giving you the speed of the river, and they'll say that a boat goes in so and so speed, which is opposite to the direction of the flow of river. That's upstream. So they'll ask you the time taken by the boat to cover so much distance. So like this, a boat can travel with a speed of 13 kilometer per hour in still water. If the speed of stream is 4 kilometer per hour, find the time taken by the boat to go 68 kilometers downstream. So these type of questions they'll be asking. So these three are the ones that I will I mean I wanted to cover uh, from the quantitative aptitude side. So going to the reasoning, right? It's like abstract reasoning. So I told they'll be giving you certain shapes, and as per the directions, you need to fold them and find the final shape. So like if you see here, right, this question, they have given us an initial like shape. So and they're asking us to follow the folding pattern based on the dotted lines. So once you continue folding, they're asking what will be the like the final shape that will be resulting. Okay, so these type of questions will be asked in abstract reasoning, and this is one type. One more type will be like they will first ask you to fold it and then cut a portion of it, and when you unfold, what is the final shape? So these two are the famous ones that you should be practicing. And coming to the number series. So number series, it's like we all know, like they will give you a series of numbers, and based on there will be a logic between all those numbers. Basically, in the series there will be a logic. So you need to find the next number in the sequence. Or the second type is that they'll give you the starting and the ending terms of the sequence, but they will ask you the middle term, somewhere like middle term of the sequence. So these this is related to number series. And when it comes to logical reasoning, right, the famous one is the blood relations thing. So there'll be questions based on relations. Okay, so for this, there is nothing as such formula or anything. So you need to practice as many questions as possible to master these type of questions. So, for example, pointing to a photograph of a boy, Suresh said, "He's the son of the only son of my mother." How is Suresh related to that boy? So, if you see the highlighted phrase, this is the condition based on which you need to find the answer, right? So in these questions, for some of them, generally follow backtracking. That means we start reading the phrase from the backwards. So for example, see, the only son of the only son of my mother. That means like he's like brother. The son of my mother means it's brother, right? So next, this is brother and son of that brother. That means Suresh is uncle to that boy. So that's how Suresh related to that boy. So this is a simple, very basic level question, but there will be very complicated levels as well. So for those, you need to practice as many as possible. That's the only way you can ace these type of questions. Okay. Now coming to verbal. So I told you, right, verbal, it's basically about the vocabulary and the grammar. So when it comes to vocabulary, the famous ones are like synonyms and antonyms. They'll give you a word, or they'll ask you which is the closest meaning, which of the following options are like the closest to the given word, or which of the following are closest opposite to the given word. So these are about synonyms and antonyms, and some things will be like sentence correction. So this is where they'll test your grammar. So they'll give you and they'll a sentence which you need to correct based on the grammar. So this is one type, and one more is the ordering of sentences. So as you see, right, they will give you a sequence of sentences, and thing is they will be jumbled. So you need to find the proper order of those sentences which is most meaningful. So these are the ones that will be most asked in the verbal. So like if you like explore the websites, the resources that you have, you can practice many questions of this type.
Okay. What are the different resources to study these aptitude section questions?
Coming to the resources, right? So I want to share like 4 different resources that are most widely used by anyone who's practicing aptitude, maybe it for placements or for any other competitive exams. So the first and the most widely used among them is indiabix.com. So like this is people consider it to be a one-stop for all types of aptitude questions and online tests. Like coming to the second one is the careerride.com. So this is like what do you say, the second most used resource, where they have the topics, like just like indiabix.com, they have all sorts of topics. But the only advantage is that careerride.com, they provide some sort of explanations even in videos. Like they give you all the formulae, and also they give you some shortcuts so that you can solve the questions in like lesser like time. So this is one helpful resource, and also they have their own YouTube channel where they teach different topics in the aptitude and solve the questions in the most simplest way possible. Okay. Now the third one is the Geeks for Geeks. So most of the folks use it for like knowing the technical stuff, or if they are stuck in writing a program. So that's how Geeks for Geeks is one of the websites which comes to rescue. But actually, Geeks for Geek help you even with things like interview experiences which are shared by the previously selected candidates, and even the aptitude related things. And the last resource that I want to share is Exam Veda. So this is also a good like you can say a decent resource which is for practicing the questions.
Okay. Now, if you could name a company and how are their aptitude pattern, it will be very useful to my audience.
So, like as you can see, now I'll be just telling about the aptitude test pattern that the Cognizant followed, like for a role called Gen Z. Okay, so as you can see, they have covered 3 sections basically: the quantitative aptitude, that's the quantitative ability; English comprehension, which is nothing but the verbal ability that I was talking about; and the logical ability. So this logical ability consists of both abstract and the logical reasoning. Okay, these were the number of questions and the duration. But most of the companies, what they follow is like they'll give you a mix of questions. So they'll have all the sections together, and most of the companies do not follow the order of sections. Like for example, what do you say, first we will ask question, I mean the test consists of questions related to quantitative aptitude, then the verbal ability, then the reasoning. No, it will be like a mix of all the questions. That's how they want to put you under the pressure, and test like how you can quickly switch your mind between the different sections. So most of the companies, right, they follow like 60 minutes 60 questions. Okay, so if you want to know about a specific, I mean, the pattern of a specific company, I would recommend you to go ahead to sites like Face Prep, Prep Insta, Geeks for Geeks. So there you can see all the previously hired candidates sharing their interview experiences, and for example, for round one, that's aptitude, what were the different sections covered or how many questions were there. So that will be helpful. I'll be sharing some of the companies' test patterns in the description.
Okay. So now in general, can you just summarize how to prepare for these aptitude questions, particularly for engineering placements?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing that I would suggest is obviously, like students, they might have a few companies in their mind which they are targeting with high priority. So I would suggest them to first go ahead and check the previous year pattern or the previous year questions that were asked in the aptitude, that just to know which sections of aptitude basically they have covered. So that will help you in focusing more on a particular section if they are stressing on a particular section in their test. Okay, and as per the different sections that I have covered today, so for the quantitative aptitude, right, so you need to have a like sound foundation. So that means like you need to be conceptually good, and you should be remembering all the formulae properly. So that is the main thing for the quantitative aptitude. And whenever you are selecting a topic, so for example problems on trains, so go ahead and try at least 10 to 15 questions, try practicing 10 to 15 questions. Okay, so once you're done, try, what do you say, like taking an online test, and also just gauge your time. I mean, how much time you're taking or how much time you're spending on a question. So at the end of the day, time is the main thing that matters, because answering 60 questions in 60 minutes is not that easy job. Because okay, there might be some questions which might not take more than 30 seconds, but definitely there will be at least few questions which will take couple of minutes. So in order to adjust to that, my suggestion is you can refer to YouTube videos like Career Ride and others. So there will be teaching you the tips and tricks on how to solve the questions like in a very simplest manner. So also they'll be teaching you how to solve the questions in less than a minute. So that will help you a lot. Okay, and as you keep on practicing the topic, one at a point of time you'll be confident on that topic, right? So at that time, go ahead and take a mock test. Okay, not just a topic wise test. Once you practice a couple of topics, you can go ahead and take a mock test just to understand like how a real test will be, so that you don't get panicked when you see the original test. Okay, and my suggestion is what do you say, you can spend at least like 1 to 2 hours a day. That will be more than enough in order to practice aptitude, right? So if you take college like us, so we will be our colleges will be conducting CTCs, that's the crack the campus. So they'll be stressing more on these aptitude questions and all. So that's a right time, like you can practice and you can use those tests to test your understanding, like how much you have understood or how much you need to practice. And the most common mistake that people do is they take a set of questions that will be easy. So what they do is like, since they're easy, they keep on solving such questions. They think that okay, we are mastering the topic, but that's totally wrong. So once you're good with a particular level of questions, that's easy level of questions, try jumping into the next levels. That's when you master the topic. That's when you will be able to solve any question that's given around the topic. Okay. And what do you say, So better you refer the YouTube videos, that will help you for sure.
Okay, Sarveshwar, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel and sharing your insights about all the aptitude questions and how to solve these aptitude questions and all the topics related to it for all the juniors and for all the people who are watching this video.
Thank you, Malden, and thanks for really giving me an opportunity to share some insights. And really appreciate your initiative, man. We really wish that we also had such a platform like when we were there, because right. For us, it was like we just had to take the contact of a particular senior who was placed in that company, and get to know, like, I mean, what were the different rounds, or like what were the questions. It was a little tedious, but yeah, thanks to you, are making these things easy for the juniors. And I really hope like the efforts that you put reach to more and more juniors. Yeah, all the best.
Yes, thank you, Sarveshwar.
Yeah.